Hello and welcome to another crypto update. Basically, we're gonna focus a lot on BTC because that's the hottest thing right now. And as you can see, and first of all, obviously, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of the one that are celebrating Christmas. Now, the very first thing we need to speak about here in BTC is that we are constantly still failing any bullish approaches to the upside. Every time, as you can see here, we start to push up and there's some buy volume coming in. You can see we get sold off very quickly again here around the 90,000 zone, which kind of acts like a resistance zone for us over here. Now, very important right now is that, and also we are reacting again here at 87,000, where in the past and even now, I guess we need to check and obviously update on the heat map. Where are the limit orders sitting? Where do people suspect big buy-ins and sell-offs? We are reacting again here at the 86k area in between 86 and 85, which was a former very strong area in the heat map where we got a lot of buy limits in, right? Now, obviously here a lot of buy limits, here a lot of sell limits, and we are just bouncing around here. And obviously just in general, there's very low volume. Now, when we speak about the Dixie, which is always important because the general rule applies here: when Dixie goes down, crypto goes up, which Dixie went down a lot. We broke a bullish sequence, as you can see here. So we should have seen some upside in BTC, and we actually obviously did, which basically was this push up that I already marked out with the red arrow. But again, we got sold off very quickly. And now we need to really figure out where are we heading with all of this. Is there going to be enough push for us to reclaim this let's say 90k area, break through it and really go again to the 94 or even higher to the 98 and get a re-entry sell? Or are we just going to continue to plunge down towards the 78k area, or even lower than, which is our target, the 65k area, right? Now let's speak a little bit about if there's any buy opportunities right now. I'm still in a sell. I forgot to speak about that on the last update, but for the ones that follow alongside all the videos, we are currently 7.42% in profit with our sell. And in general, if you just look at the price action of BTC, it looks very weak. Even if I take away all of the drawings and we just look at these candles, we can see that we had that we are in a very strong downtrend, right? Which is basically if you go from the highest point here at 126k, right, which was the all-time high, you can perfectly see how a bearish sequence was formed, and we have all the time lower lows, and the highs also stay lower. Right now, here we come into a sideways zone, or a sideways price action, where you can see we start to create the lowest point, and then we create a high and a new high and a new high, and also the recent low here compared to this one becomes higher. And again, but we kind of start to fail over here again, where you can see this is the last high in this structure. The last swing high at 94.58 got rejected, and then again we got strongly rejected again at 94.495, and again we got rejected, and again we got very strongly rejected. We spoke specifically about this candle in the last update because it's strong, shows us very strong sell-off power. And then again, we're trying to reclaim this area, but sell off, but create a little bit of a new high. So it is kind of very mixed, and that's what sideways trends are for. They are to break out either to the upside or to the downside. So far, you could say, for example, if you take the average of this low and this high, this is somewhere where the fair price is, and that's where we are right now, here somewhere in the middle, right? That's where, you know, most buyers and sellers agree. There's no strong selling, there's no strong buying. Whether I would say in this structure there's a little bit more selling pressure than buying pressure, to be honest. And you can see that by the strong reactions here at the wicks at the top, but also at the same time at the bottom there are some wicks and there are some strong buy-offs again. Sorry, buy-ins again over here. But to get more clarity, that's why I love to use the heat map. And another thing we can use is here the time price opportunity, which basically shows us where over the time of one day, in 30-minute bars, people are spending a lot of time in price, right? So you can see this was the 3 days ago, the last high, and you saw a lot of sell pressure coming in over here. Second strongest volume after the POC. That's the point of control where fair price is, right? That's where most of sellers and buyers agree. Here around 88.75, right? We started to see a lot of sell pressure coming in. The second strongest volume is over here in the sell, so above the POC. there's a lot of sell-off, and then obviously we tried to go over here and also had sell-offs. Whether we had very, very small buy-ins over here once we got below the value low, which indicates a strong down, trend, or not even trend, but strong down force in that sense, right? Then you can see the second day, so that was yesterday, the POC opens way below the last POC, and we still get a lot of sell pressure. You can see sell-offs here, second strongest volume is sell-off, and then there's not a lot of buys, and then POC opens pretty much same as yesterday for today so far. And we can see there's a little bit more buy pressure coming in, a little less sell pressure, but obviously we need to see, because again, if you go back, we are at this key zone over here at around 87K, right? Now going into the heat map, which is going to give us a little bit more of a overview. Let's see if we have something interesting over here. There is a lot of sell pressure. You can see here volume bubbles. That's where a lot of volume comes in the M5 chart. And you can see that we had consistently a lot of sell pressure coming in. Every time we go a little bit higher, you can see these bubbles over here that show us a little bit more sell pressure, and then liquidations also coming in, which shows us over here. So there is some bullish liquidations for buys, and every time we are getting a lot of bearish pressure and sell-offs over here. Even if you go into the last 5 minutes, you can see there's a lot of sell pressure over here even. And then obviously we have the weekly point of control, which so far the last week point of control was pretty much here in the middle. Then point of control opened a little bit higher, but then there was no sell pressure on the weekly, more buy pressure. So on the weekly it looks a little bit different, right? And then if we go into the monthly, it looks even more different. You can see POC is staying pretty much in range, which again speaks for this sideways trend that we have since a couple of weeks, right? So nothing really interesting over here. Now if we should switch over here to the heat map, let's do that for a second. Where are we here? Where is my template? Over here, okay? Now if we go into the general heat map for BTC, we can see that there is still liquidations coming in now at 84 and at a 90 above 91, right? And then the big ones really come in at 95. So just in general, we love to look at the liquidation heat map because price magnetically follows these liquidation levels to create liquidity for either buyers or seller, depending on where we're going, right? So these are some interesting zones. And then when we go into the general heat map, we can see and just adjust and see if there's any big liquidity sitting somewhere. And you can see there's a very, very big buy block sitting here above 85.1. So let's adjust this and see what is going to happen. So as you can see right now, here for the H4 BTC, we can see that here, okay, these are a little bit too small. Let's adjust it a little bit. I want the bigger ones, okay? So we have a little bit more clarity. So right now, this range is still applicable, which would be strong buy limit orders, more or less. It's not that strong. It's only 31 million in USD and 29 million in BTC, which is at 85, okay? And then we have very strong sell limits sitting currently here at 101, which is 58 million, and then we have another one just above with 59 million. So this gives us a little bit of a range for BTC, which again would be here in between 85 and 100. And if you go back into the BTC chart, we have 85, which sits basically over here. So if we move this away, or we adjust it right now, we can just adjust it. We have 85, which is down here. So here we have, and then we have 100, which would be, we can copy this one and move it to 100, which is basically sitting somewhere over here, and then adjust all of this. So let's do 100 over here, right? So this gives us this current range right here, where we have buy limit sitting here and sell limit sitting here. And if I would judge by price action, I truly believe we're gonna go through this 85K area and just drop lower. So the current prediction, looking at everything, is more this one over here, really dropping through the buy and bullish level over here, which is in between 87 and 85, this orange box over here, since we have a lot of sell pressure, and then really going towards the 77, 78 K area, finishing this bearish sequence finally, which also would mean we are going even more into profit, right? Now, if we get a bullish reaction and we break the bearish levels, then something around 98 to 100 would be very interesting. But with everything we have, all of the information looks way more like a sell, in my opinion, than a buy. And I would bet more on bearish pressure than bullish one, okay? Besides that, there's not too much interesting things we can see in the heat map. Orders are not that big. Volume is also a little bit smaller. Yeah, also when it comes to liquidation heat map, again, it starts to get more interesting here around the 84K area, where we start to have some more buy limits. So we love to go to these liquidation areas here, 84, 85. That would also make a lot of sense. Would also make a lot of sense with where we are right now, okay? With that being said, guys, if we go into the total market cap, we haven't checked that in a long time, so let's do that for a second here just to get a little bit more insights. And then also considering top traders, we can check right now what top traders on Hyperdash are doing. Just give this a little load while we go into the total market cap volume for crypto. We can basically see that we are still breaking through the buy area, which is basically here in between 3.29 trillion and 296, and we are a little bit below it, but we are staying pretty stable here at the third correction level, which is the 0.786 Fibonacci at 2.73 trillion. But same thing as we spoke about Bitcoin, it would make a lot of sense for us to really go here to the 2.5 trillion. Also EMA 200 is coming in over here, so this could be a very interesting area, and for that to happen, obviously we need to see way more sell-off over here in BTC, okay? So at the end of the day, more bearish, more sell focused than buy focused for sure right now. And then let's see, top traders is not loading right now. Let's give it one more try to see, but you saw before there's 50% long, 50% short, so that speaks very much for a sideways trend even here in the top traders. So you have 49% long, 51% short. So we are in short more than we are long, but what speaks a lot for the sideways trend is also here the parity more or less in buys and sells. So people are a little bit confused whether I would focus more. And funny thing is, last time someone commented below my YouTube video and said, oh, idiot, everyone is short, everyone is bearish. And I'm like, bro, 50% are long, and now it was even higher. It was 53, 54% were long, and the rest was short. So there is obviously more like a parity in between buyers and sellers, which is okay. Top performers, main position is Ethereum short, which makes a lot of sense. Trade profitability is sitting at 41%. That's pretty good. We can, for example, go into one of these big wallets over here. Let's see if he's even touching BTC. So you can see he's not even touching BTC. He's just selling Ethereum and everything else. So people are going more into these more obvious coins right now, like Ethereum and stuff like that, and selling that off. Also here you can see no BTC position. Oh, you can see a BTC short position, which was opened recently. But yeah, that's basically what we are trying to say here with everything that we looked at, is that we are more short than long. So take more short focused trades, in my opinion. We got the best entry ever, to be honest. As you can see over here, we just got on the wick the entry, which is insane, and very, very clear and well executed. And with that being said, guys, have a happy Christmas and or Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I truly believe 2026 is going to be very interesting for the market, since we want a lower dollar. We're going to have more money in the markets. And then I guess once we finish this final sequence here for BTC, sitting at a re-entry at 65K, from there on, it's going to be very interesting again to get into crypto. As you guys know, I'm currently completely out of crypto. I'm more focused on, for example, this beautiful gold trade that is 11% in profit, 4,500 pips. And then again, I also just recently made new videos about uranium, silver, copper, and semiconductors, and some of the commodities that I'm actually buying. And these are gonna drop on my value channel. As you guys know, this is my on-chart crypto channel. Then I have my value channel. I will link it below. very informative videos, high quality. This is more on chart, weekly updates, right? But with that being said, guys, wish you all the best. Stay safe in the markets. Hopefully you followed alongside with this beautiful sell over here. We spoke about it extensively in the past. And yeah, see you in the next one.